$20 million, $19 million, $6 million. These are all awards recovered for clients of Phillips Law Firm. To win big, you have to fight big. And Phillips Law has been fighting the too big to fail insurance industry for decades. Not every case will have a multi-million-dollar outcome, but Phillips Law will fight just as hard to recover the outcome you deserve. If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or on the job, call or click today at 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.
Spend less time in the laundry room and more time doing the things you love. Introducing the Samsung Smart Top Load Laundry Pair, now available at Lowe's. The washer's large capacity means you can fit more in every load. Plus, its super speed setting washes a full load in only 28 minutes. Shop the smart washer that will streamline laundry day, backed by Lowe's Price Promise. Based on using super speed on a normal cycle with an 8-pound load. Terms apply. See Lowe's.com/price promise for details. U.S. only.
Hey, this is BJ. Thanks for listening to our show's podcast. If you're a fan of all things geeky, you should check out my other podcast, BJ Shea's Geek Nation. We have new episodes every day, and you can check it out at bjgeeknation.com.
Your driver's license is important so you can get back and forth to work, get your kids to school, and back and forth to daycare. If your license has been suspended because you can't pay your tickets, you can't do any of those things. Let's talk about Chapter 13 bankruptcy. You may have heard that tickets cannot be discharged, but they can be dealt with in a Chapter 13 case. Why not come in for a free consultation? The chapter you choose will make all the difference to your getting back, legally, on the road. Let's design a plan to pay off your tickets and restore your license immediately. I'm attorney Travis Gagne. Please contact me today at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com.
99.9 KISW, the Rock of Seattle. I really have a hard time believing this opening line. I want to empathize, but here's the opening line. You know, having a hit song can actually be a curse for an artist. I'm sorry. No, it's not.
I don't know, man. Look at the story, the tragic story of Janie Lane from Warrant, which I never thought I would start a sentence or a conversation with that. But if you watch any of the behind the musics or the interviews, he's no longer with us. Like, he had some serious alcohol issues and I think drug issues as well. And a big part of that was that he had to live his life with guilt is the right word, but live his life knowing that he's the guy that made the song Cherry Pie. And I'm not joking. Like, he legit hated that song. It depressed him that was their big hit. Like, their record was done and he felt that it was a good record. And then the record label's like, we need a hit. You need to write another song. And they made Cherry Pie almost as a goof.
Right.
And it became a monster hit to where, Janie Lane couldn't go anywhere without someone bringing up the Cherry Pie song. And he hated the song.
I can appreciate that, since he didn't originally even put it on the album, and they said make something up, and they were trying to be stupid.
Well, it was like a last minute addition. I don't know how stupid, or it was just like, here, you want a hit song? Here, this is our hit song, and it became a monster hit song, and it did bug him. Like, it was a curse for that guy. As silly as it sounds, because I know it's like, oh, Cry Me a River, you just made millions of dollars off of something, but if like what you love is your art, and forever your biggest hit or your biggest success in your art is something you hate, that's got to be kind of tough on the mind.
Yeah, and I guess if you're an artist, really what you're supposed to do is just appreciate the fact that people have a reaction to whatever you put out there. It's interesting that you would hate your own work, which is what a lot of people do. He's not the only one. Now, granted, in his situation, Steve, I can empathize, because that would have never happened if he not been, basically pushed by the record company. Whereas some of these other people, they did this. It seems like they weren't pushed by the record company, and they still hate these songs.
Yep.
But yeah, his story definitely, I can appreciate him. I have empathy for him. But some of the other folks, I don't know, man. I mean, like Nirvana, for instance, Smells Like Teen Spirit. I guess the more popular it got, the more Kurt Cobain hated it, which yep. I really am tired of that. You know what, man, if it's too popular, then we're not cool kind of thing. I mean, it's like, you were speaking to people. I mean, your art really reached a lot of people, Kurt, is how I would tell them.
I know it got to the point where, like, when they would perform that song, he would almost sabotage the performance. Like, he would change the words, he would mess up the song. Like, if you were going to hear Smells Like Teen Spirit, that was probably going to be the worst performance of that show. Like, maybe all the other songs are going to sound killer, but they're going to mess with you on that one song. I don't know, man. Like, I don't know what goes inside the mind of somebody who was like known. He had pride for being like anti-establishment, and then all of a sudden he became the establishment because of the success of that song. I like to be like, man, what the hell, man? You should be happy that you're able to pay your bills because of that song. But I can't get inside the mind of somebody who's an artist like him.
Yeah, he said he could barely get through that song. He said, I literally want to throw my guitar down and walk away every time he had to play that song on stage.
That's a long song, so he really tortured himself. It's like a 5-minute song. It's like, maybe you should have made it quicker.
The number 2 on this list that we have, and these are people who hated their own music, basically because the song was such a hit. And this one really saddens me because it might be one of my favorite songs of all time.
Ooh.
And we play it here
Walking
on
on
the Rock.
Sunshine? Oh, we don't play that.
Yeah, sorry, buddy. Walking on Sunshine.
I get knocked down.
We played that on the Rock, too?
We should.
Yeah. You guys are such friends of mine. No, you guys, I think, would know me because every time I tell you I love it, its opening riff is fantastic and always puts me in a good mood.
Oh, Sweet Child of Mine.
That's the one.
Oh, yeah.
I knew about that one. Didn't Slash hate it?
He hates it. Yeah, you're right. He said, but you know what? I shouldn't say he hates it. He used to hate it, but now he's come to have an appreciation for it.
When he looks at his nice house and his gold-plated urinal, and he's like, "Thank you, sweet." I don't know if he has one or not, but he should.
Yeah. Well, you're absolutely right, Steve. There, it is a song that it's a happy accident song too. Like, how about this happy accident that was never meant to be a song is one of their more popular songs that that is, like you said, giving him a gold-plated urinal.
Well, that might be why, because I know like the story was that opening riff. It was just him like warming up. It's like a goofy thing that he would do just to warm up. Like it was cheesy in his head. And then Axl was like, keep that. Let's make that a song. So in a way, it was a song or a riff that he never wanted to be a song in the first place.
Yeah, and there is that. I get it. It definitely doesn't sound the way I would. If you told me here Slash is going to write a riff, I wouldn't have expected it to be that. It's such a surprise, but I love it.
Right, it was never meant to be one.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it becomes a monster hit, and then everybody wants to hear you play it. Everyone's humming it, and he's just like, son of a bitch.
Yeah. But I'm glad that he's been able to come around and realize that, hey, my work has given somebody great appreciation.
Yeah.
Who am I to sit there and poo-poo that? And
that takes time for a lot of artists, I think. At some point, you have to be able to like look back on something that maybe you weren't a fan of and be like, okay, maybe I'm not a fan of it, but I shouldn't just downplay it because there's clearly a lot of people who have found great joy in it.
I take a look at people that have come out on the other side like that and feel like these guys have done their work in this world. Because if you're still miserable about something that was super successful, I think, you know what, you need to go talk to somebody. So I have a lot of good thoughts about Slash because he was able to figure this out. Mm-hmm. And Robert Plant, on the other hand, don't know if he can figure this out. And of course, you know the song. It is the quintessential Led Zeppelin song, and he can't.
Stairway to Heaven.
Yeah, he was just like, man, I hate these lyrics. He said, I break out in hives if I ever had to sing that song anytime in a show. It's just like every show, no, I don't want to do this. To the point that he breaks out in hives, he hates the song that much. Wow. And it is a classic song, but I don't know if he's come to peace with it.
Which is kind of funny because, like, Stairway to Heaven is not my favorite Zeppelin song, but I would love to see them perform that song live because it's just epic. You know what I mean? From beginning to end, it's such a over the top. It's like there's certain songs like Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen, for me 3 Days by Jane's Addiction, where they're long and epic. And I would imagine seeing them live would just be just almost like a religious experience. And
at least with what they said about Bohemian Rhapsody in the movie, I gotta be thinking that Freddie Mercury would love that song forever and ever because he was told not to do it. He was told it was going to be crap.
True. Very true.
Yeah. So
like that was one where it was like they took a chance and it was something weird and unique and it became a monster.
Yeah. I mean, the brilliance of Freddie Mercury, man. I mean, that guy was so ahead of his time. You gotta love him for that. Now, this is a song I'm very, very surprised because I think this song's got cred because it is such a cool, weird, but, great song for the time. And that is Pinball Wizard by The Who. Pete Townsend hates that song. He says it was the most clumsy piece of writing I've ever done. And I have to tell you, one of my favorite Pete Townsend songs.
I never knew that one about them.
Yeah, I never heard that either. And if you told me Pete Townsend's on the list, I go, oh, I bet I know the song. And it's Let My Love Open the Door. I thought, because it's not really cool enough, even though I love the song, because I mean, it's got a great message, but you don't expect The Who to sing something or a dude from The Who to sing a song like that. But that isn't it. Pinball Wizard, which I'm like, dude, everybody loves Pinball Wizard. Really? You don't
Except
like it?
for him.
Yeah. All right. You know this, Steve. I'll just say the name Beastie Boys and you're going to know the song.
Oh, I mean, pretty much anything off a License to Ill, but Fight for Your Right to Party.
Yeah.
Was definitely, but they wanted to disconnect themselves from that entire record and that entire vibe that they once were because they grew up and they were like, this represents us just being jokey punk rock almost frat boys.
And that's what they hated, was the jockish vibe.
Right. And I think it was more so they hated what the song, who embraced it, which is sad because, I mean, that record is a super fun record, but again, I can't get inside the mind of those three.
You know what's wild, though, is they really were trying to project the opposite of that with that song.
Mm-hmm.
They said their intention was not to have that vibe, and somehow they got that vibe.
Well, sometimes people aren't in on the joke. So you're like, oh, we're clearly mocking something. But if you don't let everybody know, some people just take it for what it is, and then it becomes like, you're like, crap, okay, well, we've appealed to the people we were joking about.
Yeah, you see that a lot in life. People don't, there were people that thought that Stephen Colbert, when he had the Colbert Report, they really thought he was that guy. There were people going, who I like, my favorite conservative talk show host is Stephen Colbert. And I'm like, you don't know. Never mind. This one, Vicky, I'm going to throw out Evanescence. Do you know one that Amy did not like?
Bring Me to Life.
Ooh, no, that's not it.
Wrong.
Oh,
yeah.
Because I read recently that
what did she say about Bring Me to Life?
That they kind of forced the male voice into it. She didn't really want that, and which is funny because that's what everyone makes fun of.
Right, because at the time that song was like popular during the rap rock era, the Limp Bizkits, and like that era of rap rock, and so all of a sudden in this like female fronted band, over like big anthemic song, there's a rapping guy. And I remember even back then being like, this is weird. Okay.
Yeah.
If you want to hear a better version, she did like a redo, like the synthesized kind of orchestral version where obviously the rap guy is not in there. And if that's a much better version.
And he's not even in the band.
No.
See, I feel like that would have been a good one. I don't know much about Evanescence, but I'll tell you the song. And they're doing a bad job in reporting here because they don't really even give a reason. My Immortal.
Oh, okay. It's the really slow, methodic, kind of like depressing song that everyone's heard.
All they say is Amy seriously considered not putting it on the band's for that big album, but that's all they say. It doesn't say why.
I mean, it's got some pretty depressing kind of vibes, especially the music video. So I'm wondering if it was just too personal.
And then all of a sudden she had to answer for it after that.
Oh, I can appreciate that. Mm-hmm. And by the way, Steve, Cherry Pie is on this list.
Damn straight it should be.
Yeah, it
should
really
be number one.
Janie Lane literally said I could shoot him on the head for writing that song.
Dude, he was miserable because of that.
Yeah, it's too bad that he did not see the irony of it and realize this is great. They don't even know we're making fun of them, and I'm making skillions off of this. Like, you could definitely have flipped that story and realized, you're like it's the emperor's new clothes. You could have done that if you were Janie. It's too bad it haunted him the other way.
Well, probably bothered him that he wanted to be like this rock star, and all of a sudden he almost became a joke.
Yeah. And eventually that whole genre became a bit of a joke when you think about it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of them hate the Seattle music scene because of that.
Yeah. Radiohead and
Creep.
Yep, that's
Creep.
the one.
Yep. I've seen Radiohead a few times, and they've never performed Creep in those times that I've seen them.
And it's intentional.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
He just hates the song, Tom York, which just sucks because I still think that whole record is great.
That irritates me. I mean, you're going out, you're working for a living, and you're basically getting paid to do this job, and people love the song. You got to suck it up. I'm sorry. Or don't go on tour.
I think it's funny that a guy who's so big into mental health is telling people to suck it up when it's something that pains them.
Well,
and art that pains them. I'm not trying to be like super serious on you, but like this entire thing is about people's art, and sometimes things just aren't good enough for they just can't mentally go to that place to sing a song, and you're telling them to suck it up.
I am, because you're saying come out on the road, support me, but I'm not going to give you what you want. That's what I'm saying. It's like one person on stage, one person yelled out, "Please play Creep," and he said, "F off, we're tired of it." And I'm just like, well, what if I had that and said, "F off, I'm tired of going to your shows"? Like, if I had that same response, nobody would ever go to the concerts.
I don't know how it came out when he did that. It could have been a moment where everyone laughed.
Yeah, I have my point being is that you're asking people to support you, go out and see your music. And if I love that song and never get to see it, I never get to hear it, I wish you'd work through whatever it is, because you're asking me to come out and watch your music. Now, if you don't have a problem and you like all the other stuff, great. But I do not like going to a show knowing they're not going to, like, this one big, like, there's one song that doesn't get performed, and I love this song, and they perform it completely differently, and I don't know why. It's like, I don't know if he can't sing the high note anymore or what it is, but it's completely different version, and he doesn't do the studio version anymore, and that pisses me off. It's like, it's my favorite song. and I don't know the reason. At least
the wheels on the bus go round and round. I hate when they change it up.
So, I mean, look, I don't want anybody to do anything at all that really will hurt them. But at the same time, if you have a hit song and you can't come to grips with it, man, I would have you go talk to a mental professional and say,
yeah, but for some of these artists, they have no idea what song's going to be a hit. A lot of them just assume, okay, this is just a song that I just want to put on the record because it means something to me. But I never in a million years thought it was going to be a monster hit. Radiohead had no idea that they were going to be that song was going to turn out to be the biggest song of that time.
And it became that. And so what do and if you've got fans that come see your shows, I mean,
yeah, but most Radiohead fans, I don't know. I've seen them a bunch of times. I would love to hear them do it, but I love enough of their music that I never left disappointed.
Yeah, if you're happy, that's cool. For me, and this hits a button for me. That one song by the band that I love, and they won't ever do it the way I remember hearing it the first time, is really irritating to me. It's a massive difference, and they never do it the same way ever again. And I don't understand why. Every other one of the songs they do the same.
It's like that with Counting Crows. Whenever they did Mr. Jones, of all bands, this is the one I thought of. But Adam, the singer, he would always change it up into being into a jazzy version. I'm just I don't know if it's because he just can't hit those notes anymore.
Could be.
Or if he's had a couple too many drinks and he just decides to just kind of do a jazz interpretation of it. But it was always different.
This one here's local. It involves the Wilson sisters. I'm not even sure if I know this song. Hearts, All I Want to Do Is Make Love to You. And
all I want to do is make love. I don't know if that's it.
I don't know that song.
Can you find it?
Yeah. Ann Wilson says that they were pressured to do the song and it represented a low point in their career. Again, with Janie and Ann, this I can understand. If they never wanted to do it, but somehow they got pressured into doing it or putting it on the album, that's different to me.
I like this one. Hold on, here we go.
Oh, yeah. Oh, this sounds like an 80s hit. Was this in the 80s? Because it's so different than what I remember Heart to sound like. But see, this is tough if you really like this song. But they don't ever want to do it.
It came out in 1990.
1990? Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, that makes sense, because that is so not what I know Heart to be. I mean, it's almost like, I feel like it's... yeah, it's like Every Breath You Take kind of vibe. It does have that kind of yeah. I do know it. That's Love to You. Okay, Ann's really the singer.
Yeah, sing it.
And Ann's singing this.
All I wanna do is
look, you're not even be Nancy at this point. You know what? You're not even Luke Wilson on this one. I mean, really, you gotta let's work. Okay, yeah. All right. I have more empathy for that. If it was something that they were pressured into, I get it. I think what irritates me is when you write a song and it's your song and you did it, nobody pressured you and now you hate it and I love it. It's just like, well, but I guess I can appreciate that.
I see Shiny Happy People is on this list. The REM song.
I love that song.
Michael Stipe doesn't like it.
I watched, there's a great documentary series on Netflix called Song Exploder, where they spend an entire episode just breaking down a hit song or a popular song by an artist. And they did one on REM's Losing My Religion, which is a great watch, especially if you grew up in that time. And it's really fun just to see the evolution of that song and really how ballsy that band was at the time. Like, here they are being signed by a major label and like, oh, you're this garage rock, college music type of a band. We're expecting something like that. And all of a sudden, we wrote a song, but we're not even using guitars on this. We're using a mandolin. And it turned out to be Losing My Religion, one of the biggest songs of that time. And they're talking about the whole record, and they're like, and then we had Shiny Happy People, and it made no sense. And Bill, the drummer, he's just like, I still like that song, but the rest of the band hated that song.
I love that video. It's so
cheesy, though.
It is absolutely cheesy, but it's fun cheesy.
And people and it's like, when you think about it, the fact that it's on the same record as Losing My Religion, which is a very dark sounding song,
yeah,
and then you've got Shiny Happy People.
Michael calls it a fruity pop song written for children.
I'm okay with that.
It.
Yeah. And I mean, here's how much he hates it. They put out a greatest hits album. They didn't put it on there.
And that was a big song. That was popular. I remember the radio played the hell of it.
Yeah, I get it. It's there are bands that whatever. Even if you have a song on there, Sugar Ray is the perfect example where their hit songs sound nothing like everything else they do.
Especially the early years.
Yeah.
They were just a loud metal band.
Yeah, and so to be known for what you really aren't at your core, but you were doing like a joke or doing a one-off or trying something out, and next thing you know, that is what you're known for, I can see the frustration.
Shiny, happy people, though. That video was so obnoxious, too.
Yeah, I never realized it wasn't...
Yeah, like a dance, a choreographed dance going on.
It's a whole like line dance with a ton of people. The old man in the back who gets the glass of water and then comes out and watches everyone dance.
They had to smoke a lot of pot when they wrote that song.
Yeah.
Well, I watch this at least once a week because it actually brings my spirits up.
See, that's not. They don't want that. They want you to be depressed. Apparently.
Yeah. Listen to Everybody Hurts.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Sorry, buddy. This video is so like 1990s.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh, what's that face? What's her face from?
From
B-52s.
Yeah. Is it Kate?
Kate Perry?
Yeah. I don't know.
Not
if it's
Katy
Kate Perry. Kate something. Yeah.
Kate
O'Mara, maybe?
I think it's Kate Perry.
You might be right.
I don't know.
Well, you see, you can never go wrong having her in a video. She's awesome. We got a man that says his wife...
Kate Pearson.
Yeah, Kate Pearson.
You were close, buddy.
Just found it.
Yeah.
Thanks, Rev.
How's Kate Pearson doing these days? Oh, hi, Kate.
She's there.
Oh. I love that she's still rocking the red hair. Good for her. Mm-hmm. The B-52s. See, they never had a problem with the being them. They were cool. I love that Michael's doing this video and doing this song and hates all of it. And it's the big...
He probably hates that goofy hat he's wearing.
Everything about this video is so stupid, and I love it.
I love every bit of it.
Yeah. I actually kind of like his outfit, too. All right. Sorry, that's probably why he hates it. He goes, that BJ guy likes it. He has horrible taste in music. Yeah, so we got a dude had his wife leave him. And why did his wife leave him? Because his favorite college football team lost. And she's like, I'm out. Yeah, you're going to hear from him at 8:17 on The Rock.
BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
$20 million, $19 million, $6 million. These are all awards recovered for clients of Phillips Law Firm. To win big, you have to fight big. And Phillips Law has been fighting the too big to fail insurance industry for decades. Not every case will have a multi-million-dollar outcome, but Phillips Law will fight just as hard to recover the outcome you deserve. If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or on the job, call or click today at 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.
Spend less time in the laundry room and more time doing the things you love. Introducing the Samsung Smart Top-Load Laundry Pair, now available at Lowe's. The washer's large capacity means you can fit more in every load. Plus, its super speed setting washes a full load in only 28 minutes. Shop the smart washer that will streamline laundry day, backed by Lowe's Price Promise. Based on using super speed on a normal cycle with an 8-pound load, terms apply. See Lowe's.com/price promise for details. U.S. only.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle. Some people, man, their college football, they get serious over.
Uh-oh.
A Tennessee Volunteers fan was so upset that his team got blown out by the Kentucky Wildcats this past Saturday that he threw a beer bottle through his window, and he says, well, his wife said, I'm out. She left him because of it.
I've been watching Tennessee football for 30 years, and I did something today that I've never done. I messed up, threw a beer bottle through my window, and my wife left me. I had 2 beers. I wasn't even drunk. I can't stand to watch this team anymore. I can't do it. My blood pressure's up. So I apologized to her and told her, honey, Tennessee football done this. I didn't do it. My wife just looked at me and grabbed some stuff, said she's going to her mom's for a few weeks.
I'm going to mom's for a few weeks. I don't know if it's necessarily that the team lost was the reason. I think it was you threw.
Yeah. This, but you know what? If you did throw a bottle through a window, I mean, especially in 2020, I'm done. I mean, because people just don't. You just can't do that anymore. You could do that 40 years ago. People go, well, that's just Jimmy.
Well, I feel like this wasn't the first time that he's probably thrown something and broke something in the house.
You're probably right about
Tennessee
that too.
Football team. This seems like it was like a building. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is the first time, and the wife's just like, screw it, I'm out. But I have a feeling that he's done this a few times, and she's just like, if you keep watching this damn team and you keep freaking out, I can't be with you.
Are you that tied to anything that you would do that? Like, any sort of entertainment or sports thing?
No.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
I mean, when I was younger, yes. Not like that. I wouldn't break anything, but like I've broken a couple of remote controls when I was a kid and the Devils lost. Like when they lost to the Rangers in the Eastern Conference Finals, I was so mad. And then I learned quickly that if I break something, my dad will take it out on me, and then I stop breaking things.
Yeah.
But even like with the Seahawks, man, and I love the team, but like they'll lose in the playoffs, and I'm bummed. I'm bummed for like a few hours, and then it's like, okay, like. What am I going to do? Like, what is being, you know what I mean?
Like, you're not going to throw a bottle through the window?
No.
Oh.
I might curse a couple times.
Well, there's that. Yeah.
Lulu will bark.
Yeah.
And we'll look at each other like, yeah, this sucks. And then we move on.
Yeah. Lulu's like,
I'm trying to think of anything that would get me that upset that I would have to throw a bottle at a window.
Yeah.
Nothing.
And like you said, man, I mean, this is probably not the first time. And I like how he's just like, I only had a couple beers, wasn't even drunk. It's like, I don't believe that either. I don't believe anything you say, sir. You threw a bottle through a window. You've already shown that you have no control issues. It's better if you said you were drunk. Because if he's doing it sober, doesn't make it better.
She texted him saying we're going to stay at mom's for a few weeks. And then he's like, I'm sorry, but the blame falls on Tennessee quarterback Jared Guarantano, not him.
Yeah, he's an idiot.
This guy owned it at that
He's
point.
like, look, babe, why you want an apology from me? The apology needs to come from Jared.
Yeah, at that point, I'm done. There are people like that are that serious.
Okay, if you're Jared Guarantano and you find out about this story, do you reach out to him and say, let me contact your wife? I'll apologize.
Oh, I thought maybe he gets busy with it.
No. Whoa. I'm sure Jared has no problem getting busy in college.
Well, I would say this. Here's the thing. If Jared goes out and has a
I want to
good
bang
game,
your wife. You let me bang. You just lost the game. I'm mad at you enough as it is. Now you want to bang my wife?
Well, I just think it's all fair. If you're going to blame me for your wife leaving you because I had a bad game, hey, when I have a good game, then you know what? I get to be with your wife. How's that? That's how I look at it. Because it's dumb either way. Let's be honest. That's how dumb this guy is.
But what if I'm Jared, I might reach out to him. You want me to contact your wife?
You're a better man than me. That would be nice.
I would think it would be funny. It's not about really doing the guy a solid.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm Jared, I'm like, this is hilarious, and I can have fun with this on social media.
Yeah, if she is on social media, definitely you could tweet her and go, hey, man, sorry about your window and you having to leave your husband. I'll try to play better next time.
Right. Like, the blame is on me. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm a bad quarterback, and your husband's a good man.
Yeah, in his brain, he thinks he's right, that husband. How about in his brain, he's blaming the quarterback guy? I guess it's the same people that go and hurt, like bad guys in movies or bad wrestlers. People go up and hit them because they just believe, like, oh, yeah, you really deserve this.
Chris Jericho was sharing stories about that where, like, when he came back to the WWF many years ago and he was, like, a full-on bad guy and he really, like, leaned into it and, like, didn't even, like, break character outside. Like, someone asked for an autograph, he'd say no. He got surrounded by fans in a parking lot. People wanted to beat him up.
I remember that.
And this is, like, this isn't the 70s wrestling, brother, where you weren't sure if it was true what was going on in the ring or not. Like, this is, like, the current times in the 2000s, and people were still buying into it that much that they wanted to hurt this guy.
This is why I think you have to sort of not be in character when you're outside the ring. Like when you come, I think because you show them that you're not that guy. That it's just a performance. Not that he deserves to be beaten up by anybody. I just feel like I want to be sure that you know that I'm just doing this, that I'm not really that guy.
Well, I think he would probably welcome an opportunity to fight some of the fans because Chris is known as a scrapper behind the scenes.
All right, all right then.
I don't know if he still wants to do that when he's pushing 50, but at one point he was a guy that would like to drink and just fight people.
Well, there you go. Well, you know what? Then you reap what you sow, son.
So he says, if my football team's struggling, I have to turn the channel or leave. The Seahawks are actively trying to give me an aneurysm.
I have a friend of mine that doesn't even want to know the score of the game as it's going on. And you would think it's because, well, maybe he's recording it, whatever. It's not that. He has no plans on watching it. He gets too nervous when he hears the score.
So he doesn't watch the games.
Doesn't watch the game.
But he's a fan.
As a fan. He'll watch the game sometimes, but on the times where he's not watching the game, he doesn't want to know the score.
What's the point of even being a fan at that point?
I don't
like turn in your fandom.
I remember, because I was in a position where I was able to watch the game. I was down in California and I was watching the game, and this person was also in California, and so I'm like, oh, it's a national game, and he immediately said, Don't tell me what the score is. And I'm like, why? Are you recording it? And I'm like, I get it. And he's, oh, no, I'm nervous.
If it's affecting you that much, you should probably just, like, start watching, like, soccer or some other
something
sport,
else.
like, baseball.
That is so weird.
Like, maybe it's time to just like, you know what, this team is not good for me.
Yeah, even if it's like
Because I enjoy watching the games this season especially. Yeah, I'd like to be able to go to bed without my heart racing at night, but like I enjoy knowing that these games are all ending in epic fashions.
Which is really, that has been the Russell Pete Carroll administration. How many games have we had like that? We have been treated to some great football that so much I'm getting spoiled where, teams are just having regular games. They don't have stuff like this. They don't have this kind of drama.
Right. Wait a second. You're going into the fourth quarter with a lead and you keep it?
Yeah. What's that about?
What is this BS?
Wait a minute. You haven't got trounced in the first half and have to somehow miraculously come back? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're probably going to miss this when Pete and Russ are gone. We're going to go, oh wow! Either we're not going to have a great team, or we're going to have a team that's pretty much pedestrian with their wins. It's nothing special.
Well, even Danny and I were talking like it was nice during the break. We were like, it's nice not having to be stressed out this weekend or Sunday without the Seahawks. But I really missed it. Like it's just like I'm watching football, but doesn't satisfy you the way that those games do.
Well, see, because you don't have fantasy football to ruin your life.
You know what? There's nothing greater than not doing fantasy football this year. I'm so happy.
Oh, yeah.
I got rid of the app on my phone, too. It's like even having the app gave me anxiety.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, I'm so glad I'm done with that.
I figured that out early in the game, and I'm really happy with myself because I tried one time, and Steve, I saw what it did to me. Or probably my wife saw what it did to me. She said, you're not doing this anymore. Come on. You're a big enough idiot as it is. You need to add this to your life, Mr. Stressball.
Well, the thing with me with fantasy football that always would get under my skin, it wasn't so much like how the players did. Like, I'm like, oh, man, I don't know, like Russell Wilson didn't get enough touchdowns. Oh, that hurt my points. It was when I would see someone that was benched because I forgot to change my lineup. Not get, and like they're like sitting on the bench and they got like a ridiculous amount of points, and I would get so mad about it. I'm like, what am I doing? Like this is like such a weird make believe world, and like I'm doing this all for the hopes of winning like $60.
Yeah.
Okay, I could just like not
just not do that.
Not do it.
Yeah.
With the way I do fantasy football, I never win the $60. So it's not like as if I'm passing up an opportunity to get the money. I wasn't going to get it anyway.
Yeah,
see, that's why the one year that I have ever done fantasy football was the one year we did it on the show against each other, and I literally just set it and forget it. And for a while, like for a good 7 games, I was in the lead, and then I don't know what happened.
Catches up.
I still don't understand what happened, but at the same time, that was my only experience with it, and I was stress-free.
That would infuriate a person like me to see you set and forget, because there was guys like that I played in my league.
Oh, yeah.
And I was trying hard, and they were kicking my ass. And I'd be like, they're not even trying. What am I doing this for?
My first year was like that when I ever tried doing fantasy football. I did that. I made it to the final game. Like, I was in the championships.
Nice.
And I was like, I should take it serious now. Instead of just keeping it the way that I was, I actually put thought into who was playing, and I got crushed. I didn't do the math to see if I would have done well if I just let it do the set it and forget it thing. I should have, but I didn't want to torture myself.
No, you'd be even more mad.
But I was like, "What am I doing this? I'm a football moron."
You're the Taco of the group.
Yeah.
And you know what? Even Taco every once in a while had a good season.
It's bound to happen.
Yeah, which is why, it's like, no, I don't want to do this. I can't. Especially with the way I am. It's not good. Totally not good. Yesterday, Steve...
Hey, you won our fantasy football that one year. You had Mike Hawk do it all for you.
That's how
you delegated.
That's how you do it.
You were a general manager.
I was Jerry Jones.
No,
I wasn't going to be the coach. That's what I was doing. If you want me to play fantasy football, I'll be Jerry Jones. And Mike has said to me, Mike of the men's room said he would be happy to be my coach anytime.
See, that's not fair, man. He does research and stuff.
That's what I love about
blogs
it. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, he's the guy.
He won the Golden Truck Nut.
Yeah.
Truck Nuts.
So just know that. If you ever want me to be in your fantasy football league, it's actually Mike Hawk working for me. Not that and the thing is that, what I loved about it is he was happy to do it. I didn't even have to pay him.
No.
But he also got to get whatever the prize was.
The Golden Truck Nuts.
Yeah, so he got that. And so there was just that way I could say that I did it, but I really didn't have to. Yesterday, Steve, he did get this one wrong.
Finish the title of the 1995 Sharon Stone Western, The Quick and the What?
Easy.
No.
The Quick and the Fabulous.
No.
The Quick and the Furious.
No.
Oh, I think The Quick and the Furious would have been a good name. But
be interesting.
Yeah, I don't think Vin Diesel will be happy with that. But unless it's FF35.
Oh, yeah, right.
Then we'll do that, yeah. The answer we were looking for is The Quick and the Dead. You want a shot at beating Steve? All right, you got it. 206-421-ROCK. We're playing Beat Miggs at 847 on The Rock.
Today's podcast was brought to you by Travis Gagne, bankruptcy attorney. He's here right now and has agreed to answer more of your questions about bankruptcy. How do I know if bankruptcy is going to provide me with relief? What are the steps for my situation?
There's so much information out there about bankruptcy with the internet and what people have heard from friends and other people that they've talked to about their financial issues or bankruptcy. There's also a lot of bad information out there or urban legends about bankruptcy. In order to determine whether bankruptcy makes sense for you, you need to talk to an attorney that's experienced in bankruptcy. So in order to determine whether bankruptcy makes sense for you, you should talk to an experienced bankruptcy attorney. And my job is not to convince you to file bankruptcy. My job is to help you to make that decision and have all the facts so that you can make an informed decision about whether bankruptcy makes sense for you, what benefits it's going to have for you, and what the downside of filing bankruptcy is.
Thanks, Travis. If you have more questions about bankruptcy, you can reach out to Travis anytime at ChooseTheRightChapter.com.
$20 million, $19 million, $6 million. These are all awards recovered for clients of Phillips Law Firm. To win big, you have to fight big. And Phillips Law has been fighting the too big to fail insurance industry for decades. Not every case will have a multi-million-dollar outcome, but Phillips Law will fight just as hard to recover the outcome you deserve. If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or on the job, call or click today at 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.